Hey all, welcome to season 7 of the Enterprise Excellence podcast in 2026. It's amazing to be at season 7. Thank you to all the listeners and all of you have played such a part in helping this show become what it's become. I'm actually recording a show for the first one this season on a very important topic to me, which is productivity, and largely for the fact that it drives prosperity. So let's get into the show. I'm going to unpack this one, and it will really help you, your organization, but also generations to come.
Welcome to the Enterprise Excellence podcast, where we share knowledge from global experts and practitioners in how to embed excellence for sustainable results. How to create a culture of continuous improvement and innovation using best practices in operational excellence, customer experience and sales, leadership, strategy, people development, and environmental and social good.
I'm your host, Brad Jeavons, coming to you from Brisbane, Australia. Enhancing an organisation's ability to continuously improve and innovate at all levels creates amazing results. Up to 10 times productivity improvement, customer and employee experience increases, as well as safer operations and reduced environmental impact. Unfortunately, most programs deployed to enhance a company's ability to improve and adapt fail to deliver. A select few have overcome this trend and truly embedded excellence. This show explores these organisations and steps you can take to improve yours. This show is proudly brought to you by the Enterprise Excellence Community and Group, which is focused on helping organisations embed excellence for sustainable results and a better future. Through the group, you can attend workshops focused on the most important topics to embed excellence. You can also get hold of free resources from the download section of the website, or reach out to one of our members for some advice and help. Visit enterpriseexcellencegroup.com.au to learn more.
Welcome to episode 211 of the Enterprise Excellence podcast and to season 7. This season focuses on a topic that matters deeply to me, productivity. I've spent many years studying productivity through the lens of culture, continuous improvement, and innovation. Along the way, I've been fortunate to learn from people such as Dr. Peter Hines, Dr. Jeff Sutherland, and Chris Butterworth, just to name a few. I've been so fortunate to have hundreds and thousands of conversations on this podcast, but also elsewhere on this topic and theme, and how you truly achieve it and sustain it evermore. Here in Australia, I work with organisations of all sizes, from all industries, to create cultures of continuous improvement and innovation that ultimately drives productivity and many other outcomes. But the resulting part of productivity is all about future generations. It basically is a primary driver of wealth, but also reduces environmental impact as we're able to produce more with the same amount of input. In today's episode, I'll share some key learnings and practical considerations to help you align and engage more people in leading continuous improvement and innovation, and enhance the flow of value for your customers and ultimately productivity for your organisation, the broader economy, and generations to come. We also have a soon-to-be-released book, Leading Enterprise Excellence, written by Chris Butterworth, Stephen Dargan, Indy Ray, and myself, and this is also going to really help. This book explores the key systems of focus I'm going to talk a bit about today that truly help create a culture of continuous improvement and innovation to drive these great outcomes. Let's get into the episode. So everyone, today's episode has a supporting PowerPoint that does go with it. So for those that want to go to the YouTube channel for the Enterprise Excellence podcast, please do so, and you can watch it all there. So let's get into this topic today, productivity for prosperity. If we consider this around the world right now, there's some great outcomes happening on productivity. Ireland is one of the key countries still driving great outcomes in productivity. They're up over 4% over the last 4 or 5 years from 2019 to 2024. This data comes from a recent macroeconomics article that was written, and its source is the OECD, where they track this information. And you look at what's happening in Ireland, it's going to drive great outcomes for generations to come. Like the fact that they're able to produce more value with the same amount of input means that wealth and prosperity is growing and going to grow, which is brilliant. I'm also quite connected to this through people I know at the Shingo Institute, and also Eamon Murphy, who's led that as the managing director of the ICBE, which is the Irish Centre for Business Excellence, which has played a large part in this journey at Ireland, and also Kieran Noonan, who gave us a reference in our book, Leading Excellence, which is brilliant. There's many people involved in the ICBE, but if you look at it, the ICBE was set up to really help drive outcomes in Ireland for generations to come through helping organisations become better and lead towards excellence. They've had a strong connection to the Shingo Institute and the Shingo Prize. Ireland organisations, or Irish organisations, have won more Shingo Prizes per head of population than any other country in the world. Through the ICBE, they have quality subsidised training. Organisations all over Ireland get all sorts of training, but a lot of them do the Shingo sequence of learning to truly learn how to create a culture and systems to drive enterprise excellence. They do benchmarking visits locally between organisations on excellence journeys, but also all over the world. They run expert webinars and seminars. They go to international conferences. Many of them go to the Shingo conferences around the world in Europe and America. Member forums, apprenticeships, all sorts of infrastructure that basically helps create cultures of continuous improvement and innovation in organizations to truly help them eliminate waste, create flow, and drive great outcomes for customers and productivity. But if you look at on the flip side of this chart, you've got down the bottom of the graph, Australia, New Zealand, Luxembourg, France, Mexico. The productivity of Australia at the moment, New Zealand, is below -2%. Now, this is a real concern because basically, when you get down to 1% productivity growth in a country or in an organization year on year, it basically means, from a global perspective anyway, that the next generation is going to be well and truly worse off. The reason being is that wealth distribution is not equal. So at 1% productivity growth, it doesn't mean that it's going to be 1% better across all people. The bulk of that, if not more, will go to the wealthy end of the globe, and below that is bad outcomes. When you're in the negative, it's even worse. Next generations are going to have well and truly worse off because physically we're using more inputs and creating less outputs. And so we're not creating value. We're just creating more and more waste. Now, the challenge we've got around the world is that productivity is seen as a dirty word. It's seen as this thing that means people are going to work harder, do more. It's just, I don't know what's created it. Potentially the way leaders have gone about trying to get productivity over the years, but also the media, I'm sure employees in general, unions, everyone's got a part to play in making productivity a dirty word. The challenge with that is that it is something we have to focus on to ensure prosperity for the future, which we're all concerned about. We all want to make things better for our kids and grandkids. I don't think there'd be many people who'd go, no, I want them to have a worse life than what I've had. Now, when we're thinking about productivity, there's this thing that's about working harder and doing more. It can make us avoid it. But if you look at it, we just have to work smarter. When I look at industrial organizations that I'm involved with, most of them are only about 50% productivity, which means only about 50% of the time they're creating value. The rest of the time is waste, non-value add time. And that's an easy situation to fix. It's like, what's the root cause of your current productivity position? And let's work on that to drive greater productivity and do it in a smart way where people can actually have an easier day at work, because when people are in chaos and fighting fires, it's not easy. But also, when you look at office-based environments, it's even worse. Their productivity is nowhere near 50%. The majority of their time is non-value add, not actually creating value for customers, or internal or external. The uplift is dramatically even greater. Now, to achieve it, in essence, it's a very simple concept. It's understand your process or your time. Understand in that process or your time as an employee or a team member where you create value, where you do something that customers, internal or external, would pay you money to do. And then look at it, all the other stuff, which is we consider waste, minimize the waste or get rid of it, and hone in on the value. And by getting rid of wasteful steps and processes, or even within one step of a process, getting rid of waste, things that don't create value for customers, and by honing in on more value, we basically shorten the time it takes us to do anything, which then basically reduces lead time and enhances the value we create and also the productivity. Gets greater flow of value to customers, greater productivity. So to achieve it, of course, we need to understand who our customers are and what they value. But after you've got that, it's quite a simple concept, but it's not easy. One of the main reasons why it's not easy is the way that we run most of our companies in a top-down way. It's only at the front line of any organization that you create value. These people making something or creating a service that customers are going to buy, or people out there selling it to them, or people out there servicing it, or softwares and systems doing that to service and create outcomes. Through middle management and executive, there's very little value we create in relation to customers. Our values in growing people and really supporting the front line. But the challenge is that most organizations run in this top-down perspective where ideas and changes and impacts are driven top-down rather than a collaborative way with frontline bottom-up, which is all about how do we remove impediments and help them get rid of waste and streamline outcomes and get this value flowing faster and better for customers. How do we create a better environment and engage their hearts and minds to help them come up with ideas to improve, solve problems at the root cause. So this is sort of where a lot of the challenges face, and also to how much time do leadership spend at the front time, or at the front line, I should say, where we create value. Now, in the book Leading Enterprise Excellence, we focused on the key systems that an organization can focus on improving to create these cultures of continuous improvement and innovation, and this real focus at the front line and with customers where we create value. And previously, we wrote the book Leading Excellence, which is all about the key leadership behaviors of focus to achieve this. But let's look at some of these systems. If you look at these systems, there's only three core areas an organization needs to think about. First is how do we align all our people to our organization's purpose, strategy, aspirational goals, and customers as part of that. Now, an organization's purpose should be customer centric as well, because really, what does an organization exist? It's to serve its people, customers, and the planet, somewhere in that. But if you look at it, once we align, if we look at alignment, a key part of it is about building that motivation, but also getting that connection to the front line who most know what we need to do to improve, to get rid of waste and the problems they face that stop them being able to create value flowing. And also for the people who are engaging customers who most know what's happening with customers. So it's about aligning, but it's also about engaging. The next part of is engagement, which is all about leadership. How do we lead? And our behaviors, these behaviors of the adaptive leader who serves the growth of people that we wrote about in Leading Excellence. This is key to this. But also, how do we go about developing leaders? What's our systems to develop and grow leaders for now and for the future? And also, what's our systems of using our leadership time effectively to truly focus on value-add activities as leaders, in particularly leading from the front with look, listen, learn engagements? The other part of engagement is how do we go about engaging and growing our people in general? What are our learning systems and our development systems to really help people grow and reach their potential? And the next key area is execute. Like, how good are we at executing continuous improvement at every level of the organization? Capturing core problems, getting to the root cause and solving them, being able to escalate them to high levels if we can't deal with them at the front line, but also raise ideas to enhance value or to eliminate waste and be able to execute these in a structured PDCA way to make sure they sustain and stick to get good outcomes. And the other part of execution is how well do we execute projects, innovation, change in a highly customer-centric way, but also in a fast, iterative way that we learn, adapt, and can really make it stick in a way that truly is best practice change management. So we don't waste all this time on projects that just fall over behind us. And the final part of execute is how do we go about actually measuring our maturity in enterprise excellence? Do we as an organization understand what sort of operating system we're looking to form and develop? What is our way of achieving excellence in our company? Are we measuring it? Are we tracking it? Are we celebrating it? The maturity review system we see as a key part of execute, because these journeys, they take a long time. These topics we're writing about leading enterprise excellence are quite simple topics, but they do take time to master and really get better and better and better at. To achieve that, you've got to have a system to be able to measure it, track it, recognize it, learn from it, adapt, basically run PDCA cycles on your whole excellence journey over a period of time. Now, if organizations can improve these key systems as well as leadership behavior and capability, the outcomes are dramatic. This is where we get continuous improvement. This is where we get innovation. This is where we can really knock waste out of our processes, enhance the value how quickly we deliver value to customers, which is around productivity, but also innovate and improve to enhance the overall value we create for customers. How well we surprise and delight them and deliver unique value that gives us competitive advantages and allows us to compete effectively, both against our competitors and nations compete globally. It is simple in essence. Like there's a few key systems that if we really get better at them in organizations, it will help our company really go forward and drive these better outcomes. But it is a tough outcome by way of when you look at all the organizations that have achieved it. Like if you look at many of our fastest growing, biggest companies in the world, they're pretty good across a lot of those elements I've spoken about in this episode. But in general, there's a lot of gaps out there, which is the opportunity because we can achieve greater productivity outcomes and many other factors with it, like greater engagement of employees, better work times for employees, reduced environmental impact, greater outcomes for customers, greater growth for companies. It's many win-wins that come from this. But it takes education, it takes effort, it takes engagement, which is where I'm want to, at the start of the year, in this first episode, ask for help from you, the listeners. There's three things I'd really like help with. One, if anyone knows anyone of importance in this regard around productivity or industry in government, either state or federal, that is willing to have a chat to us and connect with some people from Ireland who have led the ICBE and other elements there to learn from, that would be wonderful. Because there's examples around the world of where this has been done and the Shingo Institute's played a big part, and we can help them learn what's happened over there so that we can apply it locally. Particularly in Australia, I see all these reports being generated probably by big consulting firms for the government, spending a fortune of money, but I don't see action happening with it. I want to help the government shift to action where we actually do some things to truly drive outcomes for productivity. So that's the first ask. If anyone knows anyone in the Productivity Commission or in the government, state or federal, who may be able to help, please reach out to me through LinkedIn or through the website enterpriseexcellencegroup.com.au and just on contact us, and I'll be happy to connect them up with people from Ireland and what's been achieved, or the Shingo Institute. The next ask would be to reflect on your own organizations and go, right, do we even have a productivity measure? Is it connected to the front line or is it only sitting up there at executive? And the other thing I want you to think about is how long's it been as an organization since you've done an excellence maturity review or a gap analysis to go, where should we focus to improve our organization to be able to be better at continuous improvement innovation? If this is a answer where you've got challenges coming up and you're like, right, we haven't done one of these for a long time, or we don't have a maturity review, reach out to me or Chris or Dargs or Indy who've been involved in this book. We've got a model from Leading Enterprise Excellence you can get hold of. Just go to the Enterprise Excellence Group, contact us, or our website for the book, which will have content put up into it over the next month or two, leadingenterpriseexcellence.com, and get hold of it. The other thing you do is go to the Shingo Institute and reach out to them. They've got a great model that they use for measuring enterprise excellence. You can do a gap analysis and basically look at what gaps we need to bridge. By doing that, everyone, if you improve your organization you're involved with, you play a part in helping that future. You know, if we could just get more organizations improving the systems and leadership side of things to create continuous improvement and innovation, we will get greater outcomes. If we can get the government learning from best practices around the world where they have achieved productivity outcomes and shift to action rather than spending huge amounts of money on reports, we'll get better outcomes and it'll help us go forward. The third thing I'd ask is to just keep sharing the knowledge, everyone, and keep working to create productivity as a positive word, not something that's seen as negative. Work harder, do more, fire people, lay people off. The negative. Let's shift it to the positive. like productivity is about wealth and prosperity for generations to come. But hey, look, there's some smart ways you can achieve it. It's simple but not easy. But hey, the content's out there now to learn from, and let's do it in our organization. So please work with me this year and for years to come to bring productivity back as a positive word, because in all the organizations, particularly when we look at some of the great ones, they haven't laid people off with productivity. They've shifted those people where they've created capacity. Those people go into roles to create more value, and they go into more value add roles to drive better outcomes. So everyone, let's work together. You can go to the enterpriseexcellencegroup.com.au website to get engaged. We run a community every month virtually where we can learn from a company that's doing great things around the world in enterprise excellence, also from experts. So please feel free to get involved with that group. You might want to get other leaders involved to learn about enterprise excellence. And we've also got podcasts going right back through on experts on this show that you can listen to. And we're just doing our bit to help keep sharing knowledge and create this better future for generations to come. But we have to shift that productivity figure. That one has to move. And as we saw, particularly in Australia where it's bad, there are countries around the world where they're doing really well here. And they're doing it well in a way that's positive and engages people and creates great company cultures and organizational cultures at the same time. So everyone, I'm not going to do key takeaways in this episode because it is my episode I've done as part to share. But there's many great episodes going to come for the year ahead. But thanks for listening. Thanks for all you do this year to help your organization create a better outcome. And then through that, you'll help generations and everything to come. And please reach out if you can help with any of those three things, or if you want to get involved with our community or any of the other things that we're doing to share knowledge and get those outcomes. Thanks again, everyone. Bye for now.